How do you build excellence? How do you shape behavior? How do you build clarity in a world of chaos? You know, in any service organization, there's this constant tug of war between chaos and clarity. Well, today, we're gonna break down how to win that battle, and not with bigger, clunkier manuals, but with a simple, elegant framework that can turn your service delivery into a real competitive advantage. Alright, let's just dive right in with the scenario that probably gives every service leader nightmares. You've got a senior executive, the board meeting of the quarters in an hour, and their laptop just bricks. This is way more than just a technical issue, right? This is a moment where your entire service team gets thrown into the spotlight. Yeah. In a crisis like that, believe me, no one is pulling up your SLA dashboard. They don't care about your average response time. They care about this time. These are what we call moments of truth. These high-stakes, high-emotion events that totally define how a customer sees you. And if your operations are a mess, the experience you deliver is gonna be a roll of the dice, and that's a risk you just can't afford. So what's the fix? How do you guarantee your team nails it in those make-or-break moments? The answer isn't a thicker rulebook. It's actually a super simple but really powerful framework built on just two ideas: purpose and standards. Let's dig into what those really mean. Okay, first up, purpose. Now this isn't some fluffy mission statement. This is your team's fundamental why. It's that North Star that guides everyone's judgment when the script runs out and they have to think on their feet. It's about making a positive impact. But, you know, a purpose without a plan is just a wish. Right? And that's exactly where standards come in. If purpose is the why, then standards are the how. They are the clear, measurable behaviors that bring that purpose to life in the real world. They set the bar for what excellence looks like every single time. And hey, this isn't just some abstract theory. We're talking about the playbooks of giants here. Look at Disney. Their purpose is simple: we create happiness. That little phrase empowers any cast member to solve a problem on the spot. Or think about Nordstrom, famous for their one rule: use your best judgment. It proves that a clear purpose is so much more powerful than a 1,000-page manual. And this approach, it pays off big time. Just look at this data. Teams that really codified their purpose and standards saw their first-time fix rate jump by as much as 10%. And even better, those super expensive repeat visits, they dropped by a whopping 20%. So this isn't just a feel-good culture thing. This has a real measurable return. Okay, this is where the rubber really meets the road. For this to work, your standards can't be these vague ideals. Telling someone to be professional is useless because what does that even mean? You can't coach it. An effective standard has to be an observable behavior, something you can actually see, like own the outcome. Now that is something you can build a team around. Now I know what some of you might be thinking. Aren't these just KPIs with a different name? Well, no, not exactly. There's a key difference. A KPI tells you what happened, like, we closed 20 tickets. A standard defines what good looks like. It puts that metric in context. So KPIs measure the result, but standards define the quality of the action. Alright, so we get the why. It makes sense. But how do you actually do this? Let's walk through a super practical 5-phase blueprint that any service leader can use to get this off the ground. But before we get into the whole framework, I just want you to see what these standards actually feel like in the wild. They're simple, memorable, action-oriented phrases. Things like own the outcome or leave it better. These aren't just cheesy posters on a wall. These are real anchors for making decisions when things get messy. And here it is, the whole plan. It all starts with discovery. You have to find those key high-emotion moments we talked about. From there, you define your purpose and pick just a handful of core standards. Next, you translate those into specific golden behaviors. Then comes the really critical part. You embed them into the daily workflow. Think huddles, system nudges, things like that. And finally, you reinforce it all by measuring what matters and celebrating the wins. It's a full continuous cycle. Okay, so when you get this right, it is an absolute game changer. But, and this is a big but, it's not foolproof. Let's talk about the incredible benefits of doing this, and then we'll cover the common traps that can completely derail the whole thing. The payoff is huge, and it hits 3 areas at once. We call it the triple payoff. It's a win for your operations. You get higher efficiency, lower costs. It's a massive win for your customers. They feel more trust, more satisfaction, and maybe most importantly, it's a win for your employees. They get clarity instead of chaos, and that means less burnout. It's a true win-win-win. But to get that incredible payoff, you have got to sidestep these classic mistakes. Don't create too many standards. Keep it to 3 to 5. Don't use vague abstract language. But honestly, the biggest killer of these initiatives every single time is leader inconsistency. If the leaders don't live and breathe these standards every day, they're just empty words. So let's pull back for a second. This whole framework isn't just about fixing today's problems. It's really about future-proofing your entire service operation, especially as AI starts to change everything. And I really want this point to sink in. This is not a fluffy culture initiative. This isn't a poster on the wall. Creating a purpose and standards is core operational infrastructure. It is just as essential to your success as your ticketing system or your supply chain because it's the human operating system that makes the whole engine run. And that really leaves us with one final big question to chew on. As AI and automation take over more and more of the simple routine tasks, what's left for our human teams will be the most complex, the most emotional, the most critical moments. So how are you gonna prepare them for that? The answer, I think, starts with purpose. Click and subscribe. Go to July 4th Autonomy for more valuable tools.